My name is Tyler Hodges, and I play several characters. I play Jedediah Schultz, Moises Kaufman, Dr. Cantway, Father Roger Schmidt, and I also play Jeffrey Lockwood, and Bill McKinney, and Aaron McKinney, and a whole host of others, random ensemble members. My favorite character to play is Jedediah Schultz. He's one of the youngest of my characters. He's only a 19-year-old college student, and he's my favorite because he's very similar to what happened to me. I grew up in a very conservative town, very conflicted. I was a theater student, and so is he, and usually when you're young and you're a male and you're a theater student, you're automatically considered to be gay or a fairy in some kind of way. So I can really identify with his dissonance with his community. But then I moved to a larger city and lived in a predominantly gay community, and there was a lot more diversity, and I feel like that is what's flooding him when this theater company comes in, and so he's finally got somebody he can talk to reach out to, and he's just really thrilled that he gets to speak with this company that kind of shares the ideas that he does, and it really challenges him, so it's a lot to sink my teeth into. As far as the plot goes, there's really no plot. In reading about the show, it's the Tectonic theater company, and what that's supposed to mean is that there's really no through line. It's just one kind of large picture, and the plates are jutting up against each other. They don't do scenes, but they do moments, and it's all about juxtaposition. And so that's a really interesting thing to play with. But kind of basically, if you were to build a plot out of the scenes, it would be the plot of the company coming and interviewing the people in Laramie, and the plot is really about these company members doing these interviews and then interacting with the people. It's less about, the Matthew Shepard story. It's less about what happened to Matthew. It's more about what happened afterward. So while you see the made-for-TV movies about this issue, it's all about the events leading up to the murder. But this is all about the aftermath. It's been different than any other show I've ever been in. Usually you get one role, or you may play two roles, but you've got a huge costume to kind of help you build into that role. But this is all about kind of stripping yourself down to the bare essentials and then being able to minimalistically create a whole host of characters. And so you have to really do a lot of research because, this really happened, so you have to really focus, and I've never had to really look into the script and really study a script nearly as much as I've had to do in this show, because I have to find out what really happened and bring that reality to the table, but then also kind of insert my own feelings, my own experiences, and kind of fuse it all together. So it's really, it's mentally and physically draining to think about all these characters and think about all these people, but it's also, as frustrating as it is, it's just as much fun too. It applies to my personal life in the sense that it really makes you think about the issues involved. And I feel like because we're actors, we're in a group of like-minded people, and we talk about this. We're kind of preaching to the choir on issues of equality and tolerance and just being communal with everybody else. And I think it makes you, more than any other show, it makes you think about speaking the message to the people you're living with right now, and you're really you're less entertaining people, but you're really trying to communicate with people. And like I mentioned earlier, it's very personal to me because some of these characters have grown up in a situation where they've been told that homosexuality is wrong and that you're going to go to hell if you're gay, and it's something I've had to battle with, so I can really relate to the situation of, the straight person who, when he's in the locker room with his other buddies, they would kind of elbow you and say, yeah, all these queers, huh? And it's just not something that I agree with, and you have to find a way to not be timid about it and actually get the message out. The message that I take away from the show is less it's not really even about gay or straight, black or white. It's really about communication. In what this theater company did, this Tectonic theater company, they went and they interviewed people after an issue happened, and what I think is these interviews should be taking place not because of a tragedy. You shouldn't be, doing damage control after something happens. You should be talking to your neighbors, talking to your friends, talking to your colleagues, talking to your bosses, talking to your teachers about issues that are happening in your community. And so what I think of this play as is a call to action, something that might inspire people to do similar things where they're sitting down and talking to people and trying to get an idea of the world that we live in, because a lot of the times people kind of have their head down, they're kind of plugged into their own existence, and they're not thinking about other people. And then when something like this happens, there's a tragedy, they look up finally for the first time and they're like, what happened? And it's a situation where we need to prevent these kind of things by creating a dialogue beforehand.